Hello fellow guitar geeks, this is the Ibanez SEW761FM Natural Finish. It is flamed maple, ooh, and it is a bit of a shredder, but when I started playing it, which is quite a few months ago now because I've had it quite a while, it seemed to me to be the lightest guitar I'd ever played. Actually, I'm just making the thumbnail for it. Look how light it is. I can hold it up just like literally with, can I hold it with, well, because of balance I can't, but I could hold it up with one finger if I wanted to. Look at that. Can't do that with a Les Paul. It is super thin. Look how thin that is. It's so thin that they've had to put this extra thing on here to fit the switch in, and it's super, super light. I will weigh it for you now. It is, let's pop that on the old machine head just there. It is no more than 2.38 kilos. 2.38 kilos. That is insanely light. For reference and for comparison, let's weigh, I don't know, my Telecaster. This is one of my favourite guitars. It's a Telly. It's fairly light in itself, but this one weighs, come on, 3.395, 3.4 kilos. My point being, if you're after a light guitar, this SEW761FM NTF, did I get that right, could be the guitar for you. Let's do some specs. We've got HSS, all our 𝗬𝗓𝗏𝗧𝗏 pickups. We've got a Tone Zone, True Velvet. We've got what I think is this gorgeous flamed maple top on a Meranti body. Meranti being more mid-scooped, mid-ranged tone. And I certainly found that was true when I was playing the guitar. It just jumps through at you, like really pokes out in those mid-frequencies. So it feels, not that there is such a thing, but it feels more like a lead guitar than a rhythm guitar. If that absolutely makes sense. I don't know. But it certainly jumps through in those mid-ranges, allowing you to pop in any mix, I would think. Anyway, more stuff. The Wizard neck. It's a Wizard 3. And not only is it a Wizard 3, it's roasted maple. So it should be nice and stable. We've got jumbo frets on a rosewood fretboard. Gold hardware, which often throws me. But on this natural finish, I think it looks pretty good. I think it would look too cold if that was chrome. And if it was black, it would look badass. This is a 106 bridge, so it's hardtail, pretty much like a standard Strat bridge. Just, yeah, individual saddles that you can adjust as you wish to set your guitar up as it should be. One thing I did forget about the fretboard is you've got 24 frets. So that's a full 2 octaves of tone. And I'm guessing that some of you might be looking at this not enjoying it because it is a little bit out there. It's a little bit shreddy and a little bit different for me. However, I think that it might be one of the most versatile guitars I've ever played. And if I were in a top 40s cover band, this could be the guitar that I would be playing if I only had one. And what I mean by that is if I was playing in a band where the guitar was the main instrument and we were rocking out and it was, you know, something authentic, not necessarily Gibson authentic, just something, you know, rocky. I'm not sure if this would be the choice. But if I was in a covers band or in any band where the guitar was not the main instrument, this thing is a tool, a device of tone, a guitar that can be trusted. Let's hear it. I'm going to go through the different pickup configurations on clean first. Here's the bridge, clean. Now that is wonderfully pointy and forward and rich as you want a bridge pickup to be, but it's also warm as well, which was quite a surprise. Listen to what happens when I stick it in position 2. It gets super funky. So it's still aggressive, yet it's pokey, and it's super out of phase. So between those two, a great combination. It kind of almost sounds like a different guitar. It sounds like that shouldn't be there, but in a good way. So if you just kept like position 1, 3, middle, and 5, then that makes kind of more sense. But these in position sounds sound like you've got an extra guitar. So speaking of which, let's go to position 3, which is just this middle True Velvet on its own. That is so funky, so spanky. That belongs in any funk band. That's almost more stratty than Strat, because you're not having that big thick body to fill in that low end. You've got this pokey, tiny little mid-range tone that's coming through. I love it. Just for that tone alone, I love this guitar. Anyway, let's move on to the I want to almost call it the John Mayer setting, the 4th position. Let's see what it does with this one. For me, this is kind of more stratty due to the positioning of the pickups and the fact that they're out of phase. But it's also got its own voice. Again, the sound is more pokey than a Strat. Not thinner, just it's those mid-ranges are poking through again. I keep saying poke. Anyway, let's go to the fattest of the warmness, maybe? Neck pickup, position 5. Again, you can hear that spankiness poking through because, for me, it misses that warmth just a little bit. It feels like I need just a bit more warmth. But whoa, hold on. Look at tone knob. Let's do that with this 5th position. Here's the tone knob all the way open on 10. Put it down about halfway. And you start to get back some of that warmth that I think the tone is missing. And you don't lose any of that clarity because the guitar is so popping and poking through, as I've said many times already. So you can get it to sound muffled by pushing it down below about 5. Yeah, there's a range of tone there. You've got a tone knob. Use it. If it's too bright, then knock off a bit of the tone. Same said for all the other pickups as well. I know that it probably doesn't look like the kind of guitar you play clean, but I really think that the way that the guitar, being 2 octaves as well, you've got a nice little... bendability. So the scale length lends itself to nice bend. Yeah, so the bends are nice to do because you've got the scale length and the space to do it, which is fantastic for people with hands such as myself, big sausage ones. Let's have a listen to the pickups with a little bit of drive. I'm actually going to flip over to the SV20 for this, I think. So, bridge first. And this is where the guitar comes alive like an animal. So it's like really beastly, again, really mid. So I might want to back off some of that little tone. Just back off that tone a little bit just to give us a little bit of meat back rather than just the sharpiness on top. The 𝗏𝗏𝗘𝗏 pickups are wonderful, by the way. I love this pickup. It is one of my... I didn't know it was one of my favorites until I started playing guitars with them in, or lots of different guitars. And yeah, tone zone. Let's do the position 2. This, I'm not sure about that one with some drive. I think it sounds better on the humbucker. This one is my favourite for clean, position 2. So I'm going to go to position 3. Spanky Town! The mids pop through so much on the SEW761FM NTF. Yeah, I think I got that right. I think that the single coil stuff, for me, is not my favourite setting on the overdrive dirtiness. I think I need to set my SV20 up a little bit differently. So I'm actually going to plug into, hang on, this second input, so it's a bit warmer. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, all right, so there was a lot of bite there, a lot of grit. That setting on the SV20, of course, is a lot warmer, a lot rounder, but just knocking off that tone and just knocking off the volume cleaned it up and warmed it up quite considerably. This guitar is one of the most responsive guitars I've played, in the sense that the electrics really allow you to do quite a lot of different tones. I'm surprised. Like with a Strat, a Fender Strat, I should say. Not that there's anything wrong with a Fender Strat, but you just get kind of less Strat when you turn down the volume and tone. And the same with Les Pauls. With this, it kind of morphs the tone a little bit. So I know that's not an Ibanez thing, it's just this guitar. The more you play with it, the more different tones. So it's extremely versatile. I want to play position 4 on a bit of drive. Here we go. Yep, doesn't sound like many other guitars I've played. This one, that's the thing. I give these guitars back and I think, oh, I missed that one little thing. And what I'm going to miss about this guitar is how spanky it is, and how in my arsenal of tone, I have a lot of stuff that does kind of the same thing. Like an SG and a Les Paul, different to each other, but kind of similar. This one is totally different. Darn it. Okay, neck pickup, a little bit gritty. Again, this is making me play like I don't normally play. Turn off. I don't normally play funky, rhythmy, sort of fun stuff like that, but I want to, and I want to be able to, and this guitar allows me to do that. So thank you. Thank you for bringing something out of me that I didn't know I had. Right, let's talk more about the specs. I found something I don't like, so let's have a look at the back. I know this is such a thin body that it's kind of necessary, but the back cavity stuff, it looks a little cheap just stuck on there. I kind of really, really, really wish that was sunken in, but considering how thin it is, I don't think that's a fair quarrel. Speaking of which, if you're wondering why this ferrule is back a little bit further, it's so that you can drop D it and still retain that tension you need, so the E string, which would become the low D string, doesn't get too floppy. So that's a feature I've only just really noticed on guitars of late, and I really like it. This one has it. Let's talk about feel. Let's turn that amp off so it starts buzzing. The feel of the guitar, it feels so nice to hold. If you are someone who likes to sit a lot and couch guitar, this is perfect, because as I unplug it, it just lends itself to being part of you, like an extension of your body, and it doesn't get in the way, so you can sit if you're using it in a chair, if you're, like any office chair or anything with arms on or something like this. If you are the kind of person who wants to play a guitar that you can't feel is really there, this might be the one for you. I kind of wish they did it in more than 2 finishes. There's a darker finish. I'd like to see this in like a green. That would be awesome. So green, like a Hulk kind of finish. Anyway, what else we got? We've got one of these little fairy doors. Let's have a look at this. One of these fairy doors is my favourite, because you can just poke that open with a pick. Come on. And there's your truss rod, just there. So you haven't got to unscrew anything, you just poke it open. Very, very, very cool for the guitar player who doesn't take a screwdriver with them everywhere. Oh, come on, he says as he can't get the door back in. What have I done wrong? Oh, I see. The fairies want to stay out tonight. There we go. Sorry, Ibanez. Let's talk about the hardware. Everything looks super quality. I think that the tuners are fine. I think that they will hold tune. I think that they could be a little bit better. I think they could be a whole damn sight worse. The bridge is a sort of no-nonsense bridge. However, something I don't like is that the screws that hold the position of the saddles, the saddle screws, if you will, they do catch my hand a little bit when I'm palm muting. So maybe a different saddle on there so you can, you know, have them sunk in a little bit more. Or, I don't know, maybe it's just the way I've got this guitar set up, but they do stick out a little bit. I don't know if you can really see it. They stick out a little bit, and that does touch my hand ever so. And I've scratched my poor hand a little bit. Let's turn that amp off. Being Ibanez, it is superb quality. It's made in Indonesia. It is put together with what looks like care, love, and attention. There are no issues in the finish apart from a tiny, tiny little bit down where on this lower bit just here that you shouldn't even notice and I should not even point out. So for €800, I think you're getting a lot of quality guitar there. I'm just trying to see if there's any holes in the bind, like gaps between the binding and the body. This is all wonderfully made. I think a little bit more attention to detail could have been done on that lower horn, but nothing to complain about. Certainly nothing you're going to feel as you're playing the guitar. Being a rather large chap, it does feel almost a little bit top heavy, the way that I would hold this on a strap, so you kind of want to put it down like that. But when sitting, it really, really does behave. For the money, the SEW761FM-NTF is definitely worth it. It's €800, sorry, at time of recording, of course. For that kind of money, it's not quite premium, but it's nowhere near budget, and it's nowhere near medium range either. It's between sort of premium and medium range for most of us. And I think you're getting a very, very well-built, great-sounding guitar. So you've got 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏s in there, don't forget. So it's a very, very good guitar. Not something that I would have as my only guitar, but I am going to miss the fact that this is not staying with me and I don't get to keep it as a tone source in my tone collection. Yeah, it's a really fun guitar, sorry. Now, I don't play much lead stuff. You know, if you're coming here expecting some Satriani, then you're not going to get that. So that melodic instrumental stuff is not something that I excel at yet. But I think that if you're in a band with a second guitar player, or a third, or a fourth, or you're in a mix where something is you're just not popping through, this could be the perfect guitar that fixes that. You don't need to change your amp or your pedals. You just need to buy an €800 guitar. No, what I'm saying is that this is kind of a wild card in the tone camp. Is that right? Yeah. In the world of tone, if you need something that really pokes through in a mix, you cannot go wrong with the SEW761FM-NTF. Yes, I think. So as a roundup, great pickups, quality hardware, great workmanship, price, fair, sound, different. Pokey, tone MIDI, certainly does what it says. And also tiny. So if you've got a bad back, like me, I could play this on stage forever. I think the stage would give out before my back would. So yeah, great guitar. If you're interested, links in the video description. If you're not, go and have a look anyway. You might find something you like. Buy yourself something nice. Treat yourself. And that is it for me and the SEW761FM-NTF. Darn it! Okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Ibanez for sending this out. I am going to be sad when it leaves, but it is going to leave, and so must I. Before you leave, however, you've made it to the end of the video, which means you're in the end of the video club, which means to prove that you are in this club, you need to leave me a comment and include the word poke, and that'll let me know that you watched this part. And I've said it enough times in this video. Actually, before I leave, if you're into 80s shred at all, I think this might be something for you. I should have said that. I can't demonstrate it musically, but there's that. Thank you for watching. There are videos over there. Go and click them after you've subscribed and given this video a thumbs up. Do all the good stuff, and I will see you at some point in the future. Tatty bye!